What's up, everybody? It's your boy, the Noob. So, anthology series are a big deal. They've had a bunch on TV, they've had some on Netflix, and these are all series where each episode is a different story. Well, recently, Netflix came out with one that I really loved, and from according to Rotten Tomatoes here, apparently the audience has loved. Love, Death, and Robots is the latest anthology that has come out. Netflix has designed a sci-fi kind of animated series of 18 episodes, each one having to deal with a different story. Now, I like this because as I watched these, they were very enjoyable. They run somewhere between 6 minutes and 20 minutes, and they can range from really simple, almost 2D animation to really detailed 3D animation, kind of like Pixar level. There's even some live action ones, and it made me kind of think back to the old school Animatrix that came out way back in the day when the Matrix was a big series. This was really interesting. Now, if you haven't watched this, there are a lot of different stories. There's a couple that are kind of realistic, there are some that are completely sci-fi, and then there's, I think, a couple that are what-ifs. Now, as with all anthologies, not all are good. I would say maybe 3/4 of these were really good ones, but there were a couple I really didn't care for. The top one off the top of my head that I really didn't care for was this really 2D kind of cartoonish episode where it dealt with the multiple deaths of Hitler. Apparently, each one was what would happen if Hitler died in a certain way, how would it have changed history, blah, blah, blah. There was like 6 versions of it, and it was kind of retarded. One of the deaths was death by giant jello. But there were some really, really good ones. When I'm talking good ones, some of the ones that come off the top of my head, and this is in no particular order, there was this one where you had these 3 robots. They looked like they were taking like a tour of Earth after a post-apocalyptic. I'm guessing the humans were dead.
Come on, here, try.
Well, what the hell am I supposed to do with this thing?
You know, boing boing.
No way.
Stop being a whiny pussy and fucking bounce it. Please.
Jeez, calm down your motherboard.
There was one I found interesting where this girl, and I couldn't tell if it was live action or animation, which is what I really liked. She was running away from a guy after she watched him commit a murder. I'm not going to tell you the spoiler on that one, but go watch that one. The ending is kind of trippy. And there was another one, which kind of made me go back to my old gaming days. It was this whole thing, they were farmers and all that, and it almost looked like it should have been in the StarCraft kind of universe because they were trying to protect their plantation, but the things that were coming after them weren't animals. They were like these alien dog-like things, and I'm telling you, they reminded me of Zergs. This was a really good series. Now, like I said, each episode is somewhere between 6 and 20 minutes. You can pump this out in, I think, roughly 2 to 3 hours, depending on your motivation. It was a good, refreshing look at anthologies. Now, I've tried to watch a few, and I've not liked them. They're either specifically based in horror or drama. The only kind of anthology I actually really enjoyed was the old Twilights. The new Twilights I've seen a couple episodes on, but I'm not really quite getting it. But this one, I like this, especially since a lot of these episodes were almost like previews. And if they can make a whole series off of some of these little skits, they would be great. One that comes to my head, it was the first one on my list, which might not be for everyone because I've heard rumors that depending on what region you're in, the list actually is in different orders. So even though I may see the Monster Arena one was my first one, someone else's first one might have been that Hitler dying thing. The one that would make a really, really interesting story in mind, and I'm not going to spoil it, but I'm just giving you the basic details. It's the one you see when you pop it up on Netflix and it's showing its little trailer, it's where this girl is controlling this monster in what it looks like an underground fight club kind of style. The animation in that was really, really good. And the story behind it was very unique. And the ending, what a great twist. I did not see it coming and I loved it. This was a show that Netflix really should pay attention to. Now, I know a lot of people have been saying that Netflix is kind of losing their flair because everyone's taking their shows because they're starting their own streaming service. But if Netflix was to do more anthologies and stuff like this, they would have no issues. Folks, this series I want y'all to watch, especially if you are any fan of sci-fi. Each story in this is quite unique. There's even one story where it was very realistic to me. It was a what if that could happen. And surprisingly, a lot of these episodes had me sitting on my edge. And some had me actually like holding my breath because I was worried about what was going to happen. You should go watch this. Everyone, I'm the Noob. Thank you for joining me. As I've said, Love, Death, and Robots is a great anthology. If you want to see sci-fi, but you don't want to have to sit there and watch an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours of a story, go watch this. This will be just enough to pique your interest, but not too long to bore you out. Anyways, thank you for joining me, and I'll catch you later. See ya!